Hello and welcome to my channel, Inviting Possibilities. My name's Rochelle, and I am here to do a reading for fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, wherever you might have those in your chart. We all have them somewhere. So um, there could be something in here for you. That's my intention. So take what resonates, leave the rest. And yeah, let's dive in. I'm going to start with my Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And yeah, going back to my roots, I used to do these element sign readings all the time when I first began my channel shortly after. And yeah, wanted to try this again. Okay, so let's see what's going on for my fire signs. We've got a change in the wind. Big changes are afoot. Higher power. Oh, excellent. And unfinished symphony in protection. It's seeming like there's a big change coming. You may be experiencing it already. And the thing about change is we humans don't typically like the change, but it is inevitable. As I often say, it's the only thing you can count on. And it's happening because it's happening for your higher good, your higher power, the universe, source, God, whatever is behind this. You, and I'd venture to say that in any situation that we deal with, we do have support there for us. It doesn't always feel that way. It doesn't always seem that way. But as I also often say, things happen for us, not to us. And so this change is important. It's meant to happen. But there's some things that need to be closed out first. Finishing the cycle. Some kind of loose ends need to be tied up before you can move to the next uh, phase. Good morning, Jojo. Thanks so much for being here. And thank you all for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Let me dive in to the Light Seers deck to begin. I said dive in with the other deck. We're going to continue to dive. We're getting out of the pool and diving again. Okay. Yeah. So what is this? What is this change? That is actually really good, even if it doesn't feel like it. That is actually orchestrated by the powers that be. We've got the devil. Yeah. One of the nicest looking devils I've seen. Capricorn energy. Oh, and the high priestess. Um, I always forget. Cancerian energy, I believe. And the Queen of Pentacles. The change that's happening is maybe you're deciding to once and for all end some kind of addiction, toxic behavior, something like this, um, in favor of listening to your intuition, being able to tap in. It's a it's sort of a substitution in a way. It's like whatever was going on here that you were indulging in was holding you back, was keeping your sixth sense suppressed. And there could be an earth sign in your life who you need to tie up some loose ends with. You could also be kind of relying on your own resourcefulness to close something out. Um, the change could also be that you're dealing with somebody who's been very toxic, and you're tapping into your intuition, and you're focusing on building up yourself, building up your resources, um, taking the consistent steps forward to get where you want to go, to nurture yourself, nurture those around you that you really care about. But especially because it lands on unfinished symphony in protection, it feels like I feel like it's very much is like you nurturing yourself, um, doing what you need to do for you, and maybe your family. Maybe you have kids. The people that are close to you that are worth your time, your energy, and again, being resourceful in how you close out a cycle. So let's go to the Dreaming Way tarot. Two of Swords, Four of Pentacles, the Page of Swords. Feeling unsure. I mean, this is okay, so you could be in a stalemate with somebody where you're having trouble seeing eye to eye, you're dealing with some kind of toxic behavior. Could and again, it could this could be you where you're just kind of struggling with your own stuff, your own addictions, your own vices, knowing that you need to make a choice that supports you. Again, the change is inevitable, and it's that idea that your higher power is there helping to facilitate this change, and you can either make the choices that are going to help make this change in this transition easier, or you can get dragged kicking and screaming. Either way, the change is inevitable. So it's better to try and make it easier on yourself if you can. Um, this could be, it's like the Four of Pentacles, holding back, holding too tightly to something. I mean, look at this guy. Like, how it could be really difficult to walk away from something that is so enticing, whatever that means to you. And I'm not saying it's a hot guy or anything, but it's like something that like sparkles, that you're like, oh, but I really, I want this thing. I'm really drawn to this thing. It feels good in the moment, and having trouble letting go. It could also be that as you are, like, if it's the scenario where you are um like letting a vice go in favor of tapping in to your intuition, in favor of like kind of a some kind of spiritual growth or diving into some kind of spiritual practice. You are conserving your resources. Um, it could be like maybe you had an addiction to shopping and overspending, and this is you kind of reining that in. Choosing to just hold off for a while so that you can how do I want to say this, holding off spending so that in favor of like going out in nature, meditating, things that don't cost money or very much money, but ultimately it's again, it's fueled by your higher power. It's fueled by the universe, and I feel like there's a leveling up here, and especially because of the Queen of Pentacles, Page of Swords. This is you moving to a new beginning. Maybe you're doing some kind of, I mean, the Page of Swords can sometimes be read as like the spying card. Be somebody spying on you. Or maybe, it doesn't always have to be spying. It can be doing some kind of research, figuring out what you need to do to close out a cycle with a person, with a job, with some kind of situation where you need to leave it. And you're being very you're having to be very resourceful with what you have. You're holding back and using what you have rather than continuing to try and acquire more. There's a paring down, minimizing, so that when you move forward into this new beginning, it's gonna be somewhat from a clean slate, or this is your idea. This is how you want to, how you're going to be able to um, be successful. Be successful in nurturing yourself and what you want to do, how you want to move forward. Okay. I'm going to use the Scapini deck. I always want to say it with my terrible Italian accent. Scapini. All right. Medieval Scapini. All right. We got Queen of Wands, the Hanged Man, and the Hermit. Piscean, and right. Let's forget. I think this is Pisces. Piscean energy, and Virgo. Virgo energy. And I feel like this is you. You in all your glorious, fiery awesomeness. Yeah, Kitty agrees with that. um, this seems like you're choosing you, or maybe there's a fire sign in your world. Like maybe, for example, if you were dealing with somebody with toxic behavior, maybe they had some Capricorn in their chart, somebody who was, like I said, very enticing, but not so good for you. And here's somebody who, it's either you rising up, being bold. She's a warrior. Um, by the way, gender doesn't matter; it's just energy. But Queen of Wands is she's the life of the party. She's very charismatic, knows what she wants, very decisive in moving forward, very inspired. So there's somebody, either somebody in your life who's who is who you're choosing in favor of the devil, the more toxic behavior, or this is just you where you're choosing yourself. And with the hangman is always about either purposely stepping back and gaining a new perspective or being forced into it. Either way, gaining a new perspective on the situation. And especially with the high priestess here, um, on top of the high priestess, this new perspective is a part of your spiritual growth. This maybe there's a spiritual awakening. Um, and it's also allowing you to see things in a new way, to understand that you do have to hold back, be more uh, what's the word? Disciplined about your resources so that you can go the distance, so that you can get to your new beginning. Because whatever this change is, it might it may take a little bit to get through that, um, to get to the other side. And then especially with the hermit next to the hanged man, this is definitely, I feel like this is you taking time, d going into solitude, like I said, like going out into nature, meditating, praying, doing some kind of practice that is you and only you, because you are trying to gain wisdom. You're trying to figure out what you need, the best way to close out a cycle again, to tie up those loose ends. Um, so I'm gonna go with my guardian tarot. Hangman is Pisces. Thank you. Okay. Um, what do my creepy tree friends have to say? We've got Ooh, we've got two. Didn't mean to pick them, but they both came out. Page of Wands, Five of Wands. I think that okay. So I'm going to say this is definitely you. This Queen of Wands here. And you y- the, as you get to that point where you understand that you need to ultimately choose yourself and follow your own inspiration, start a new adventure, you're being met with some serious resistance. Whoever you're dealing with, and it could even be a part of yourself, um, is saying, what are you talking about? No, you can't leave. No, I'm going to continue to make you these very enticing offers. Um, you can't live without me. How could you think that you could be happy without me? Um, and from take it from personal experience, um, if that's a conversation you're having with yourself in your head, it can be really it can be a struggle to choose what you know really is the right thing for you. But oh my god, like, oh, but that thing online is so cute, I just want to buy it. Or oh, just one glass of wine, or, whatever the thing is. There's definitely some kind of struggle. Someone does not want to let you go. And yet, you are rising up. You are exerting your power in the situation, and you are being very decisive and bold about saying, "Okay, yeah, this is what I want. I want something new." Um we have the star, which is all about wish fulfillment, your dreams, your desires, moving towards something that is it's this kind of dream. And we have the owl, which to me represents wisdom. And so you are tapping in to your wisdom, which is directly connected to your intuition, also directly connected to your higher power. As you spend time alone, as you gain this new perspective about what you need to do, about holding back, even though, oh, you don't, oh, you're really tempted, very, very, very tempted. But you have this bigger dream. You're like, okay, I know what I truly want. And I know that if I continue to give in to the temptation, it's going to keep that dream far away from me. And so there's a big pause here, forcing yourself to just, maybe going through withdrawals, maybe just like really struggling in some way because you don't want to let someone or something go, but you have a bigger vision. You see something that's better for you. And the Fool. That's right. Um, this is taking a leap of faith. This is a new beginning. Like I was saying, this is you having done the research, having looked into whatever you need to look into to close out a cycle. Maybe you were spying. Maybe you were spying on that devil and discovering some things that you realize there's some toxic stuff going on behind your back. And so, with that information, with new understanding, with some kind of newfound wisdom, where you were able to shine the light for yourself on the situation, here you are. And you're just like, somehow you're able to release yourself. Somehow you are able to finally dive into something new. It's a fresh new start, somewhat clean slate. And I mean, I love this because it's just like, oh, the sun's shining, and there's like this feeling of elation and dancing and joy. Yeah, I like that. Like I said, the change is meant to happen, even if you don't want it to. But I feel like this reading is very much speaking to the fact that you're choosing not to go kicking and screaming, that you're deciding, you're taking your power into your own hands, you're taking the situation into your hands, and you're keeping your sights set on the horizon, on what you truly want, knowing that that's way better than this kind of immediate gratification that leaves you feeling empty. Um, Here, let me pick some cards from my Tarot of Mystical Moments. Page of Cups, another page. Page of Swords, again. And the Sun. Yay! Card of Leo. Um, Here you are. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, the Page of Cups because of we've got 3 of the 4 pages here. Page of Wands, right? Um it's the 5 of Wands. The Page of Wands is you finally making that choice. And the choice that you're making, you're choosing love over fear. Any kind of addiction is rooted in fear. It's something we do to avoid having to truly look at things, whatever it is that makes us feel uncomfortable. It gives us that immediate gratification that kind of tames that voice in us that's like something's not right. And so the addiction is like, or that desire for the thing that is rather toxic, it it gives us a moment of pleasure so that we don't have to face the stuff that really we don't want to look at because it's scary. Everything boils down to fear. If it's not love, it's fear. Fear is the opposite of love, not hate. At the root of hate is fear. Anyway, this is you choosing love. This is you, again, deciding to move towards what fulfills you, that is going to truly satisfy you, that you think about it and you get all like, yeah, excited and ready for a new adventure. um she's looking at the fish in the cup, doing something in a new way, different than you've ever done it before. You're ready for a change. And here's you doing your research about what it would take to get to your dream, to realize your dream, to be living the dream, gaining that wisdom. And the Sun is happiness. Happiest card in the deck. Like I said, there's so much joy and brightness, illumination on the situation, because illumination, shining the light because of doing that work, that inner excavation, doing your homework, figuring something out. And yeah, Kitty's so excited for you. So let me pick I'll pick a final card from my rune deck. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, Urus. Look at you. Feeling all good, getting all pumped up, putting yourself first, doing what you know is right for you. Getting to this point, if you've done any kind of strength training, you know that getting to that point where you've got the big muscles, it takes a lot of work and it hurts sometimes. You got to break those muscles down to build them up. And you go through a certain amount of pain. Personally, I like that pain. But even to get yourself to do it sometimes, to do the exercises, can be really difficult because it's like, well, I'd rather just watch my show and sit on the couch and eat popcorn, or whatever. Like this takes this takes persistence. It takes literal strength to build your strength. It it takes, it's kind of it's using your mental faculties to keep you going, in a physical sense. So let's see, where's Uruz? I hope I explained that right. Um, or well, okay, Uruz. Uruz. Said it right. A symbol of brute strength and power, the wild ox of ancient times was both revered and feared because it was wild. This rune is a symbol of physical power, vitality, and good health. It can also suggest great emotional courage. If you are going through difficult times, you must find the creativity inside yourself to pull through. You have great power within, and you need to unleash that power. When you do, there's no stopping you. This is also a rune about the need to take a risk and not to fear change. That's right. But conversely, it may be urging caution. Energy that is misdirected can do great harm to both yourself and others. So ensure that your words and actions do not wound or result in chaos, but rather in healing and peace. And that is exactly what's happening here. Is choosing um ultimately choosing, here, I'll just go like this. Ultimately choosing your dream of happiness over whatever is ultimately going to keep you down. It's going to hold you back. So that's amazing. I love this reading for you. You may be in the part of the situation where you're still feeling like you're struggling, but you're going to get through that because of your own, I'm still trying to think of the word, like mental fortitude. Like you're just, what's required of you, and you're willing to take those steps. And you don't have to start big, just, as I often say, consistent baby steps. Be consistent, take it one step at a time, and you will get where you need to go. Put the effort in, use the resources you have around you now, and you'll get there. So, anyway, there's your reading. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you on the next video. Mwah. And thank you again so much for liking, subscribing, and sharing.